Hello everyone, I am Rohit. I on behalf of Sri Aurobindo Society would like to welcome all you teachers to one of the most successful and innovative idea sharing platforms of India, ZIIEI. Here we will be discussing about new and innovative techniques for different lessons from our course and in short how to make the whole process of learning fun and interesting for the kids. Today the chapter that I'll be covering is from NCERT board Environmental Studies and the name of the chapter is Mangoes Round the Year. How we can preserve different fruits throughout the year. The main innovation behind this idea is to enhance the understanding of kids with the help of enquiry-based learning and to make the chapters more convenient for the students with the help of aesthetic flowchart. The main concepts that we will be covering under this topic will be spoilage of foods, how to check out the expiry dates of different foods, how the spoilage of foods take place, and how to preserve different foods. Before starting the chapter, we will be needing some pre-arrangements like some empty packets, empty wrappers, some breads, fresh breads, etc. First of all, we'll focus on introducing the subject, the main theme of the chapter, that is mangoes round the year. For that, we ask the students one question like, what is your favorite fruit? They will be giving different answers like mangoes, grapes, etc. etc. Next we ask them, do you know at what season do we get those fruits? They might say in summer or in winter. Okay. Next we ask them one question, if you want to have mango in winter, can you have them? Some of them might answer like yes, we can have them, but in the form of pickles, or some might say that in the form of papad. Then we go to our main introduction or topic that we tell them that yes, we can have mangoes round the year, but only in the form of in different forms with the help of different preservatives or in the form of pickles or jam or papad. And that is how we preserve foods. And from this, our main topic for this lesson, for this course will be mangoes round the year. Next we come to introducing them about or explaining to them about how to check the expiry date of food products. That is, we need to explain to them it's not only about the natural food products that get spoiled, it's also about the day-to-day life different products like breads or chips which we consume every day. Those are also expirable, they also get expired. For that, we divide the group into small groups and we give them empty wrappers of bread or chips or milk packets, anything you can take. Then we ask them to check out the manufacturing date and expiry date. We will look into the date. Then we explain to them that the expiry date tells us that up to what time you can consume the food, and the manufacturing date tells us that what is the manufacturing time of that product. And so we tell them that during this duration we need to consume the food or else the food will get spoiled. And we tell them to note down the expiry date and the manufacturing date. Next we move on to explaining them about the spoilage of food, how the foods get spoiled. For that we do one experiment. We bring the kids one by one. We bring one fresh bread in the class and we ask them to touch the bread and make some few observations. Note that down in the note copies. Like how does it, when you touch the bread, is it soft? Does it smell anything? If you look at the bread with the help of a magnifying glass, do you see what kind of structure do you see? Or do we see any kind of deformation, or what is the color of the bread? Next, we put the bread in a polythene and sprinkle some water and leave it for 5 days. And we ask our students to make the observation for 5 days and note it down. At the end of 6th day, we again gather the students and explain to them that do you see any differences? They might say that yes, we are seeing some green formation color, we are finding difference in smell. Then we tell them this is the difference between a good food and a bad food. Now the bread is spoiled. We cannot consume it because there's a difference in the color, there are fungus formation, and there is a bad smell. and that is how we recognize good food and bad food. And when food gets expired, when it crosses expiry date, the food gets undergoes certain deformation in smell, in its color, in its look. And we give them one homework. We tell them that once you go home, you make it a point to note down all the vegetables that are available in your food, in your home. Write down the names. Ask your parents that what is the process of spoilage period, at what up to what time we can have it, and if we want to preserve it, is there any process? Next, we come to preservation of foods. For that, we explain to the kids that how we preserve foods with the help of salting, drying, freezing, and keeping it in airtight containers. We explain to them that how salt and vinegars and airtight containers acts as preservatives for preserving the food. And also explain them that how we should always consume good foods and how we should differentiate it from bad food. That way we continue with our class, making the students understand the importance of having good food and bad food and how we preserve the food. And when we explain the whole concept with this approach, we also touches some important points, like we develop the creative thinking, critical thinking, decision making, communication, and also how to read expiry date numbers. We're covering a lot of things